Hello my friends, hello YouTube. It's September 18th 2020 and I'm just out here doing some work with my raised beds, and I thought it'd be a good opportunity to show you all, look inside what I got going on here. But yeah, basically these beds I'm doing now, there's some frames for my beds, are just 3 2x6x8s. You take one and cut it in half. Those two pieces are over there holding dirt back. But you cut one in half, use the halves as the ends. I just put in 2 decking screws on each end, putting them in this way. If you put these boards on the outside of here, the dirt will push out and snap your screws. These are 3-inch decking screws, so they go in, you know, pretty much the length of my finger or whatever, maybe. But it seems to work fine. I've done it the other way and have broken screws. In fact, I replaced some in the older beds. As you can see here, they break right off. But yeah, these boards were about $8 each. That's Canadian funds. So I think it's white spruce, select cut or something fancy like that. Depending on your area, how wet or dry, or you have termites or whatever materials you have at hand, you know, you can build a raised bed out of pretty much anything. You could lay rocks down, roll logs up, use concrete blocks, cinder blocks, use a old wash tub. I've seen all kinds of stuff, but for me, some cheap lumber is good enough. So yeah, I just got the lawn and weeds or whatever, break through that with the spade, scrape down all the topsoil. Other shovel's handy for that, also does the sides real nice, goes down nice and straight. I just pile all my topsoil in a pile. It would be sifted, and then biochar and some leaf and grass compost I have over a pile there, you see, right there. I'll get mixed in with the biochar and native topsoil to make my soil mix. But once I have it all dug down, I scrape and dig out all these roots, rocks or whatever, and I fill it in with logs, make a hugelkultur core. These are the logs I use to fill in the core in the bottom, and then smaller, big ones like this in the bottom, depending on how deep your hole is, of course, and then smaller stuff like this on top, and then whatever debris and stuff you have laying around you can put on top of that. But if you make a hugelkultur core out of pieces like this, you know, you'll be gone like by next year. So unless you live somewhere super dry like Arizona. But the larger the pieces, the better. It'll retain more water and it'll last longer. I put on a thick layer. All this is grass clippings with some leaves in it, because it's fall and they're falling down all around the yard. It's the best thing because it mixes it up well for composting. If it's just straight grass, it tends to pack down in layers and gets thick, and then it doesn't decompose as quickly. When it's mixed up with some leaves, though, it'll break down real quick. So yeah, I just thick layer of mulch on top of the hugelkultur core, and then I'll put my soil mix, which of course is just my native topsoil. I put biochar in it and leaf and grass mulch, which I leave out in a compost pile to let the fungus break it down. I don't turn the piles. It's not a hot pile, and I'm fine if it takes, you know, till next summer to be usable. And I got piles that are a couple of years old now too, which I'm using to make this. But as you can see, I grew potatoes in this dirt, and oh, it's beautiful. But this bed here, this is what it looks like. This was filled in only this spring. This is what's left of maybe 1.5 to 2 feet of mulch in between the wood and the soil. And just since I want to say May, since the end of May, 2 feet of mulch, leaf and grass mulch, turned into, what's this, you know, 1/4 of an inch maybe. And it's all turning into soil, being broken down by the worms and microbes and fungus. Speaking of fungus, when I was digging up my potatoes and moving the soil back, there's a mushroom that was growing down there in the dark underneath the dirt. Get all kinds of nice fungus. I don't know how well you can see in there, but that white, that's a fungus that will exchange minerals and nutrients between the plant roots and decomposing trees. I've dug it under a compost heap on the other side of the house, and I thought someone had spilled white paint. This was so thick and so bright white. So it's all throughout my whole yard. It may even be just one organism, I don't know. But it's really healthy for the soil and healthy for your plants. But yeah, here's what happens to a hugelkultur core just after a few months. I'm in north central Alberta, so I'm not you know, in a rainforest, or, you know, it has rained every day too though this summer, but you know, and this works real great though. This is breaking down. This is actually building up more soil. There's more soil there than I put in the bed. That's from the mulch breaking down under, between the layers. But yeah, just a quick look inside my beds, how I build them, and what I'll be doing here with this one. I'll be finishing putting the mulch in here. I'll probably just use the dirt I have up here, fill in on top, and it's going to be a strawberry bed. And in this bed I'll remulch, and then as I'm picking out my potatoes from this bed, which was also just put in this spring with mulch and dirt. The core was in there all winter, but I'll use that dirt to refill in this bed once I have mulch in that, and then I'll remulch this bed, and then all the dirt from all my various containers. I should have enough to fill it back in. But yeah, it's easy enough. Just 2 by 6 by 8s. 3 of them will build one frame like this. You put 2 together. Just cut a piece of 2x4 or whatever scrap wood you have that's thick enough to hold the screws through it, or wide enough to hold the screws through, I mean, and measure it to the length of the height of the bed, and fasten the 2 frames together using corner pieces. And you can build it as high as you want. I'm actually considering adding another layer to some beds and making them 3 high, and that way I hardly have to bend down at all. They'll be at waist level, virtually. But yeah, I'm just using this one single frame here as a template. That way I'm just digging out the dirt where I have to, and with that shovel there, it's real nice. I get real nice sides, get right in there, get all the grass and weeds out. And I only dig down as far as the I got a real thick layer of silt with bands of clay running through it, so I only dig off maybe 3 or 4 inches of the topsoil, and that's what all this is. I got 2 piles like this. I brought in no soil, and I spent no money. I've only burnt yard waste into biochar, mixed that with this topsoil, and as you saw, I was running my hands through the soil over there with a little bit of leaf and grass compost in there. It's a beautiful mix, and it grows well. Had some frost, and I covered my peppers and tomatoes. But yeah, no store-bought fertilizers, no bag mixes of soil or compost, no money at all. Just my native soil, biochar, and leaf and grass mulch. You don't even have to compost it. You can just mix it in the soil like that, and it'll compost in the bed. It won't affect your plants or anything. But yeah, quick look inside raised beds. Easy enough to make, cheap enough to find, good materials to use. You could do it by yourself. Again, just screw the 2 screws in at the end. You can use the corner brace bracket things if you want. Makes it really easy. Or you can just, you know, one hand to steady it and the other to push the screws through with the drill. Super easy. But yeah, well, hope the video wasn't too boring for you, my friends. But have a great day wherever you are, whenever you watch this. And hope you're thinking about growing something for next season, or preparing some beds, or, you know, at least you're watching a video. So, peace.